You know that coffee mug on your desk or the phone in your hand? Ever really think about how it got there? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the secret life of stuff. We're going to follow the whole journey from a spark of an idea all the way to the product you can actually hold. So, let's dive in.
Yeah, think about it. That phone, the chair you're on right now, it all started as just a thought in someone's head. So what's the magic in between? What's that hidden complex process that takes a simple concept and turns it into something real, something physical? That is exactly the secret we're going to unlock.
All right, so to make this super clear, we're going to follow the life of a fictional product. Let's call it the explainer widget. We're going to track this little guy from the drawing board, through the factory, and all the way to the moment it shows up on your doorstep.
Okay, so behind every single product you own, there's this invisible, super complex system that makes it all happen. That system, the real engine behind everything, has a name. It's called operations.
Now, operations isn't just about screwing parts together. Not at all. It's more like the master playbook for a sports team. It's the strategy for taking all your raw materials, we call those inputs, and turning them into the finished product, the output. And the whole point is to do it smartly, efficiently, and perfectly every single time.
So, where do we even start with our explainer widget? Well, before you can build anything, you need the pieces, right? You need the raw materials. This is step one, the sourcing and planning stage. Our widget isn't just going to magically appear. Nope. It relies on a whole web of other companies and partners to exist. This massive, interconnected network that gets us all the materials and parts we need, that's what we call a supply chain.
And building that supply chain, that means finding the right materials, picking suppliers you can actually count on, and figuring out how you're going to get the final product out to people. This whole web, from the very first screw to the final customer, that's our operations network.
Okay, so what about the actual act of buying all those parts? There's a word for that, procurement. Honestly, you can just think of it as a super strategic shopping trip for the factory. The goal is to get the best possible parts for the best possible price.
All right, we've got our parts, we've done our shopping. Now, let's head on to the factory floor. This is where the magic really happens. This is where our explainer widget actually starts to become, well, a widget.
Welcome to the world of manufacturing. It's the whole process of turning all those bits and pieces into our final product. And you know, when you have to make thousands or even millions of these, you can't do it by hand. That's where automation comes in. We let machines and technology do the repetitive stuff with amazing speed and precision.
Okay, picture this. The assembly line is humming along, everything's going great, but there's this one machine that's just way slower than everything else. Suddenly, parts start piling up behind it. Things are grinding to a halt. What do you call that? It's a classic problem.
That slow machine, that's a bottleneck. It is literally the weakest link in the chain. And here's the crazy part. It doesn't matter how fast all the other machines are. The entire factory can only move as fast as its slowest part. The bottleneck sets the speed limit for everything.
But now, look what happens when we fix that one slow machine. Boom. Our throughput, which is just the fancy word for how much stuff we're making, it just skyrockets. By fixing that one single problem, we can unleash the true potential of the whole factory, getting us way closer to its total capacity, its absolute maximum output.
So to make sure everything's running smoothly, we're always watching a few key numbers. Uptime is simple. How much time are the machines actually running? Yield tells us how many good widgets we're making versus how many we started. And efficiency, well, that's just a measure of how much we get out for what we put in. These numbers together give us a health report for the factory.
Okay, so we're making widgets. That's great, but just making them isn't enough. The real game is about making them better, faster, and with way less waste. This is where we move into the quest for perfection.
And that quest has a guiding philosophy. It's called lean. The core idea is actually super simple. Figure out what the customer really values, and then ruthlessly get rid of everything else. Any step, any material, any time spent that doesn't add value, it's waste. You look at the whole process, the value stream, and you just cut, cut, cut.
Here's a perfect example. The old way of thinking was just in case. You'd buy tons of extra parts just in case you needed them, and they'd sit in a warehouse collecting dust, costing you money. The lean way is just in time, or JIT. This means the parts show up exactly when you need them on the assembly line, and not a minute sooner. It cuts down on waste, saves a ton of money, and makes the whole operation way more efficient. So how do you actually get better and better? It's not about some big revolutionary change. It's a philosophy called Kaizen. And the beautiful thing about Kaizen is that it's all about small, tiny, incremental improvements. And it's not just managers doing it, it's everyone on the team, every single day, looking for ways to make things just a little bit better.
And all of this, Lean, Kaizen, it's all pushing us toward one ultimate goal: quality. First, you make sure the widget is built exactly to spec. Then, you make sure it's reliable and won't break. But the ultimate goal, the holy grail, is a zero-defect philosophy, making your process so good that making a mistake is basically impossible.
All right, our explainer widget is built, it's been tested, it's perfect. But it's still sitting in our factory. Now comes the final, crucial leg of the journey, getting it from our door to yours. This last part is called the fulfillment process. So our widgets are sitting in a giant warehouse as inventory. You click buy, an order comes in, someone has to go find it, pick it off the shelf, pack it in a box, that's all called material handling, and then get it shipped out for delivery. It is an incredibly complex, carefully choreographed dance to make sure you get the right thing at the right time.
Okay, so we've been deep in the weeds, following our widget step by step. Now, let's zoom out. Let's look at the high-level strategy, the conductor who's making this entire complex orchestra play in harmony.
How on earth do you keep track of all this? Well, you use tools like a Gantt chart. It's basically a big visual timeline. It maps out every single task, who's responsible, and when it needs to be done. It's the master plan that keeps everyone and everything perfectly in sync.
And sitting on top of everything is the strategic layer. First, there's optimization. That's just using data to squeeze every last drop of efficiency out of the system. Then you have risk management. That's the what-if planning. What if a supplier is late? You need a plan B. And finally, there's execution, because a great plan is useless if you can't actually make it happen.
So there you have it. From a simple idea to a global supply chain, a buzzing factory, and a delivery network that spans the globe, that is the secret life of stuff. It's a massive, complicated playbook. And now that you know how it works, here's a question for you. Where's the bottleneck in your world, in your own work? And just imagine what you could do if you found a way to fix it.